Good afternoon, Dwayne here, Dry Creek Wrangler School. Last video we did, I did on 5 things about marriage. 5 things I wish I had known about marriage before I got married. I got done with that video, and Mama said we ought to do another one on 5 things that you wish that she had known about me when we got married, that she understood. And she's going to do 5 things that she wishes I had understood about her when we got married. And now she's actually starting up a brand new channel, Dry Creek Mama, and she's going to post hers over on that. And we'll talk about that again here when we finish up. So 5 things when we were newly married, I look back now, that I wish that she had understood about me in particular, and men in general. Now, this isn't a justification for all these things. It's just what it was. It's just what it was. And if she had understood that, and also it's not one-sided, because like I said, as soon as we get done, she's going to get the chance to give her side of it too, because both sides are important. Okay? I wish she had understood that I don't have, and this is true with a lot of men, I don't have the same, I'm not emotional the same way she is. And because I did not react emotionally to what she was going through, it doesn't mean that I didn't care. Now I'm the oldest of 4 kids. I've got 3 younger sisters, and we were not close, my sisters and I. And I come from a family, 7 generations. I was the 7th generation of my family, born right there in the hills of Kentucky. We were not a family of huggers. We were not huggers. Especially my dad and I, we were not emotionally demonstrative. How about that? We throw some big words out there. Wasn't how we dealt with stuff. I come from very old school, old way of doing things. And, boys don't cry. You suck it up, you deal with it, you man up, you go on. Now, that's kind of frowned on in places today, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. That's who I was, all right? And so it's just that my method of approaching things and dealing with things was not the same as hers, and it doesn't mean, so you young couples understand that just because your spouse reacts differently to a traumatic or emotional situation, it does not mean that they care less. Sometimes it just means that they're different and they process it differently, okay? You got 2 different people, and the more different that 2 people are, a lot of times the stronger the marriage will be. If I've told my wife for years, honey, if I was as tender and emotional as you are, our marriage would be shambles. Somebody has to be the strength. Somebody has to stay calm in the face of crisis. Somebody has to be able to clearly see what's going on, set their emotions aside, and deal with it, okay? And it's not a lack of caring. And I wished that she had understood that. Secondly, and I want to make sure this is clear when I say it, I wish she had understood how important being respected by the wife is. Now, did I earn that respect? Heck no, I was just a kid, all right? But in a lot of instances, to the man, I'm not saying it's not for the women. I'm not speaking for the women today. For the man, if anything, it's more important for him to be treated with respect than it is for him to be treated like you like him. From his viewpoint, he needs to be treated with respect. You say, Dwayne, he's not very respectable. Well, a lot of times a young man will not become respectable until he's treated with respect. And he will like that feeling of being respected, to the point that over time, if you give him the opportunity, he will mature and grow into that. But if you start out right off the bat as his wife, I don't respect you, he will never grow into that respect. And he will become resentful, because to a man, a lot of times being respected is more important than being liked. Okay? And there were times I didn't know what I was doing. I was a new husband, and I was doing the best I could. And all I wanted was to be respected for my effort, for my try, for the burden that I had taken on, for what I was trying to accomplish, for this life-altering thing that I had decided to undertake. And I wished that she had understood that. Okay? I wished, I'm gonna walk very carefully here, okay? I wished she had understood that a man's baser physical tendencies, especially for a young man, are very important to him. It's very strong, and it's very instantaneous. It's not always about candlelight dinners and sappy movies and hugs and cuddles. And sometimes for a man, sometimes it's just about one thing, and that's just the way he's wired, and there it is. And I'm sure on her side, she's going to say in her video she wishes that I had understood that women are crock pots and men are microwave ovens. All right, let's just put it like that. I wish we had understood at the very beginning the difference in the physiology between a man and a woman when it comes to intimacy. All right, did I handle that all right? Was that pretty good? Okay. I wish she had. Now we started out. I mean, from the beginning, as you guys have seen, another video we did, we had a very that was ours. I'm not telling you what is right and how everybody needs to do it, but we had a very traditional marriage. I gave her the choice. We talked about this before we got married. Wish I could keep this pipe lit. I told her if she wanted a job, she could get a job. She could do, but if she wanted to stay home and be a homemaker, I would support her. I gave her the choice, and that's what she decided she wanted to do. Okay? So we divided things up accordingly. I got up every morning, and I went and worked the job. And I was gone all day. When the oil needed changed in the car, I changed it. When we needed firewood for the wood stove, I went and got the firewood. I split the firewood. I built the fire. I kept the fire going in the stove. We were in Alaska when we got married. When there was a problem, I fixed it. Now, we were of the agreement, and again, it was just us, and we understood that that was my responsibility, and that was a major part of life. She never had to worry about where grocery money was coming from. She never had to worry about if the electric bill had been paid, if we were going to have a place to live. I carried all that burden. In return, the house was her kingdom. The house was her domain. She took care of the meals. She took care of the baby. Now, some of y'all, that makes your teeth hurt. That's okay. It worked for us, and that's what we like. But after working, we developed a problem that's very common, very, very common in marriages. After being out all day, dealing with people all day, dealing with the weather all day, dealing with life all day, when I came home, I was tired. And I wasn't just physically tired, I was mentally tired. I was just tired. And all I wanted to do was just sit down and rest. I just wanted to just recuperate for the rest of the day. And she, and rightfully so, and I understand it now more than I did then, she was stuck in the house all day with laundry and dishes and meals and then eventually babies and this and that. And she was stuck in the house all day. So when I came home, I just wanted to sit down. I didn't want to go out. But she'd been in all day. She wanted to go out. And that was always a bit of a difficulty for us, you know. And so there were things I needed to understood, but wished that she, as a young wife, she understood a little bit better how taxing, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, 8, 10 hours a day, 5, 6, 7 days a week, out in the world, trying to make a living, trying to pay the bills and everything can be. We had a discussion one day, wasn't anyway, not, and I mean it was a discussion, it wasn't an argument. She would ask me, I would come home and she's like, what do you want for supper? What would you like? You want me to fry some chicken? You want me to make some hamburgers? You want some pizza? What do you want? And I came home one day and she asked me that, and I said, honey, I'm decisioned out. I mean, I've made 10,000 tiny decisions. I was working construction at the time, and I said, there's just decisions all day long, one after another. And I said, I don't want to make any more decisions. The house, you're the queen of the house. The kitchen is yours, and I love and understand your desire, to make things as good for me as you can. But I don't want to make the decision on what we're having for supper tonight. On top of all the other decisions I had, I'm fried. I'm mentally fried. And I think maybe at the beginning, if that had been understood a bit more clearly, it could have saved, a bit of stress. And there's nothing important there, no big deal there. I wish she had understood, as a woman to a man, that a man needs his time to just not think. Okay? There are people out there to describe this a whole lot better than I can. Women are like windows on a computer, and they've got 100 windows open, and they're all going at the same time, and they've got all this. And I cannot multitask. I do one thing at a time. And there's times when I close up all my boxes, I shut all my windows, I turn the computer off, and I just sit and I turn my brain off, and I just sit there, and I don't think. And I don't need to think. I don't want to think. I just recharge. And there's a huge difference between men and women in that, and neither one is wrong. It's just nature. It's just the way it is. All right. But I wish she had understood that. And these are things that nobody knows hardly, when you first go into it. It's just things that had been, that would have made things just a little bit easier. And I don't know if I hit 5 there, but there's 5 things off the top of my head that, if I had a couple of young people sitting here, just came up out of the blue, said, Dwayne, what are some things we're fixing to get married? What are some things that might help us? That's what I'd give them. Okay? All right. I have a new J.M. Boswell pipe here, and that's what I got going on today. Man, it's got beautiful grain, and it's got it's rusticated here on the bottom. It's a beautiful pipe, and I've got Boswell's Northwoods. That's what I'm smoking in it. Now, the reason I'm telling you guys this, some of you get on after I do the videos, and you're like, hey, what are you smoking in that pipe? Or, hey, what cigar you got going on? And then I know you haven't fully watched the video, because every single video I tell you what pipe I got, what tobacco I'm smoking, what cigar I'm smoking. I'm not a real big English blend guy. I have some English blends that I kind of like sometimes. I've got some Peterson's nightcap or early morning, but they're just too much Latakia for me to smoke very often. This is a English forward blend. It's Northwoods by Boswell, but it's really mild. It's not a really sharp, strong English blend. In fact, it's for me, it's the best English blend that suits me that I've ever tried. It's just not overpowering with the Latakia. I don't know if it has Perique in it. I think it does. But anyhow, that's what we got going on in the pipe today. So I hope this helps you. Hope it encourages you. And I'm going to encourage you to go over to Dry Creek Mama and her new deal she's starting up over there, and check out her side of the story, okay? And just wish you guys all the best. and we'll catch you next time.